showing you how to create pivot tables in Excel. We're going to be using this data set here that I randomly generated. You can just pretty much ignore everything over here. I just had to type some stuff out in order to get these data points. But basically what we're looking at here in this scenario is product sales for products A, B, and C. We have the salesperson who sold the product and what month and what region, north, south, east, and west. And we have the number of units sold. So to get started here, the first thing you're going to want to do is just click somewhere inside of your data set so Excel can pick up the data points that you are trying to turn into a pivot table. So after you do that, it doesn't really matter where you click, just click somewhere in there. But after you do that, click Insert, hit Pivot Table, and you'll get this window here, and you can see that Excel picked up all of my data. And so I like to create my pivot tables in new worksheets just to keep everything nice and organized. But you can also, if you want to put your data or put your pivot tables in this same worksheet that your data is, you can just click existing worksheet down here. But I like to use a new worksheet. Just click OK. And so you'll see over here we have field names, and these field names, if you did not notice, correspond to the column headings over here in our data set. And so when you get to here, the first thing you're going to want to do is figure out what you want to extract from your data. What do you want to pull out of your data? What do you want your data to tell you? And so in this scenario, I want my data to tell me, for this first example, which month had the highest product sales. And so with that, what we're going to do is drop these field names into rows, columns, and in values. We're not going to bother filtering our data for this. It's not really necessary. And so to get started, we're going to put product in rows. So you see now our rows have products A, B, and C. And then we're going to put, since we want to get sales per month in each month, we're going to put that in columns. So now we have August, July, September, October, November, and June. It's a little out of order, but that's okay. And now we're going to lastly put units sold in values. And so just like that, we have the highest number of sales. You can see it, since we did sum of units sold, it adds everything together for us. And we can see that September had the highest unit sales. And so I decided that I wanted to figure out which product sold the most in what month, or which month, had the highest sales. Not which product, which month had the highest sales, and this pivot table clearly shows that. And obviously, without using a pivot table, just reading through all this data, it would take forever to do it by hand. So you can see where they're very useful. But anyways, so let's create another one. We're going to go back to our data, go back to Insert, Pivot Table, New Worksheet. And now instead of monthly sales, I want to know who sold the most, which of our sales people sold the most. So we're going to do the same thing, drop product in rows. We're going to put salesperson this time in columns, and we're going to put units sold in values again. And now we can see that our sales team, or out of our sales team, the Mike sold the most over that period of time. And so just like the other one, the pivot table clearly is a lot easier to work with. and it makes simplifies this data that we have very, very quickly. So lastly, I'm going to do one more. It's going to be very similar to the first two. I'm going to insert into a new worksheet, and we're going to put product in rows again. I'm going to put, this time I want to figure out which location did the best. So we're going to put that into columns. We're going to put units sold into values again. And now we can see that I believe it's the East. Yes, the East had the highest gross sales over that period of time, the Eastern region. And so that is pretty much how you create pivot tables in Excel. You can drop whatever you want in columns and rows, and you can filter your data through also. And you can change up values down here. So if you wanted average sales or something like that, it depends on what your data is displaying, but you can change that up as well. And so hopefully that was helpful. Thank you for listening, and please subscribe if you haven't already.